Guys, welcome back to the live. I was doing a live and YouTube cut me off, so let's see, I'm breaking the guidelines or something like that. I don't know what guidelines I'm breaking, but we will continue with the live, and you guys can watch the live from before. What I'm talking about Judas among us, guys. There are actually Judas among us, okay? There are Judas among us, and we have got to be careful what we do. We have got to be careful of um, basically who we associate ourselves with, because I am telling you, if we not careful with our life, if we're not careful with the people that we bring in our, like, what do you say, our circles, it's like it could be a great disaster. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you're really trying to do good, right? You're trying to do good, you're trying to help people, you're trying to do what is righteous, you're trying to do what is good, you're trying to follow the law of the Most High. You're trying to do your best, for others, but somebody's always coming, out of nowhere, and before you know it, you're in a whole conundrum of foolishness and, and nonsense. So in our community, okay, as folks, we need to really do our own research when it comes to people, their behavior, and we have to kind of watch with watchful eyes before we do certain stuff, because I'm telling you, it could be like a detriment to our family, our community, and all that kind of good jazz. And YouTube is great because we we get the opportunity to see many things that is going on out there, and that give you opportunity. If you want to do certain things with certain people, you're going to think twice before you do it, because sometimes some people think, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can carry on, but the behaviors that they're carrying on with, they're kind of spoiling it for themselves, because other people are watching that. Other people are watching what is going ahead, and other people are going to say, well, as for me, I am not going to be part of this. And so that is why we have to be very careful. My friend said to me the other day, my dear, I would really like to invite people to my home, and I would really like to do certain stuff, but I can't because I don't want certain spirits to stay in my house or to jump on me, on my family. And does she have a point? Yes, she does have a point. Why? Because there are spirits out there who will jump on you and your family if you are very, very weak. But sometimes we bring those spirits in our own home. You understand? We bring those spirits in our own home. We invite them inside because of our bad behaviors. You understand? Our behaviors attract a lot of negativity. And so if we don't get rid of this behavior, we join a lot of spirits in our bodies physically and in our families also. And these spirits, they pass on from generation to generation if we don't get rid of these spirits. And a lot of us are doing things unawares. And likewise, I was talking, I'm not going to mention names in the rest of the live, because I guess, this platform likes to shut your channel down, right? Yeah, exactly. So I guess my YouTube asked me to um, YouTube asked me to cut the live, So anyways, I did. So I'm continuing the live. But anyways, we're talking about those, those people that cause contention, you know, in our lives, and just coming there and causing problems, and we have to be aware of problematic people, and we have to see them from afar so that we don't get entangled with them and they don't cause division in our lives. And that is why I have to say that it is very, very important that even the friends that you're going to pick as your friends, you got to make sure that these people are good people that you're going to be hanging out. Somebody recently said that people want to get help, but if they don't ask you for help, maybe you shouldn't help them, because after they get help, they're going to say, like, who asked you to help me? I didn't ask you to help me. So why are you helping me? You understand? So even as good as you may be feeling in your heart, you want to help somebody. When you see all these things that is happening out there, all the negativity, somebody's doing something good and then somebody's coming against them and saying all kind of stuff, it's like you even have to wonder to yourself, should I do good for people? Should I follow the Bible? Should I follow my own conscience? Because you don't want to get entrapped. You don't want to be caught in all this madness that is going ahead. You know what I'm saying? So there's many people out there who wants to do good, want to help others, but when they see all these things that is happening, they're like, nah, I'm not gonna help. Leave the people where they are, because I don't want to get myself entangled in all this mess and stuff like that. I don't disagree, because who wants to get himself entangled in all this kind of mess and all this kind of this and that and foolishness that is happening? So, helping people is such like a fine line, like a thin line, because you don't even know like what's what you're gonna get out of it. Is the person gonna turn back and bite your hand? You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna come back and you know what I'm saying? You don't even know. How are you gonna go there and help people when you see all this madness that is happening out there? So, like I said, this platform is great because you get to see a lot of stuff. You get to hear a lot of stuff. And it makes you think. It really, really makes you think. Like, if you decide to do a similar thing, you're going to be really thinking and say, I watched this person was doing something for this person, and after the person do that thing, it backfired. People was ungrateful. They didn't say thank you. They turned on them. You understand what I'm saying? So this platform is amazing because it helps us to think and see what is going ahead. You understand? So we can make certain choices. Me, I am going to come on this platform and I'm going to speak truth on this platform always. When I see something is going wrong, I will talk about it. I will say something, because I think a lot of us, we're hiding behind doors. We don't agree with certain stuff, but we're just going along with it. And every day we're just like complaining behind our breath or complaining to our family members. And the thing is affecting you personally. You understand? But you're not doing about it. Nothing about it. And that is why I love the demonstration in Kenya. I like to see what the youths did, because they came out and they actually demonstrated against what was happening in their country. And because they did that together as a team, things changed, for not only for them, but for other people. And some of us, we have platforms, and when we see things happen, nobody's saying anything. Everybody just under the table, everybody just continue on like nothing. But if you want to make changes and you want people to do better, then you yourself have to be activists for certain stuff. Like YouTube just said that they're suspending my channel. So what? I still gonna talk and I'm still gonna say what is right. You understand? So that's basically what it is. Because if you don't speak up, the powers that be, they're just gonna continue to do whatever they want, and you're the one that's gonna be suffering. Nobody else but you, you know? And it's like I see a lot of things happening in many places, many countries, and nobody's demonstrating, nobody's saying anything about it, but they all are murmuring and they all are suffering. You know, it's like when I was working in certain places, I see certain things happening. Everybody's complaining, oh, they're so unfair to us. Oh, they're so this, oh, they're so that. Me, I went and talked for myself. I said, me, as for me, I am not going to do it. And I didn't do it. You know, it's like I was working in this place and they had there was about how much of us was working in them? Over 30 or 40 of us are working in this place. And they had a rule that you had to team up to clean the kitchen. And I'm like, team up to clean the kitchen? What for? We're 40 adults working in this place. Why should I be teaming up with anybody to clean the kitchen? If you're an adult and you're going to go to the kitchen and you're going to take a plate, a spoon, a fork, a knife, whatever you're going to take, when you're done using it, you wash it and you put it back where it belongs. You dry it and you put it back where it belongs. Even if you're in a hurry and you have to go back to work, when work is finished, you know where the kitchen is. Come and dry, take your thing out of the dishwasher and put it away. Like that is so easy to do. So that's their rule. When they call a meeting and they said, oh, this is what we've been doing for 10 years, I say, I don't care if you've been doing it for 20 years. I won't be joining any of that. And everybody was mad. They wasn't mad. They were mad because I decided to not join this team in this foolishness. All right. But they were mad because they're saying like, okay, that's a rule or whatever. So I said, well, when I get this job here, was this part of the job requirement? Crickets. Everybody went silent. Nobody could say nothing. This is not part of the job requirement of washing dishes in the kitchen in my workplace. I'm sorry. And I clearly pointed out to them. So I've worked there and I never washed any dishes. You understand? And after that, a few people said, yeah, you're right. You know, that is foolishness. And a couple of them said they're not going to do it either. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, why are you washing somebody else's dishes? Why can't they wash their own dishes? We're all adults here. We should be able to wash you should wash your dishes and put it away. Or come back and put it away if you were in a hurry when you came into the kitchen. That's just common sense. And sometimes rules are made which are so ridiculous and people go along with the rules. Now, everybody who was there washing dishes were unhappy. They were all grumbling and they were not happy at all washing other people's dishes. Because people would come into the kitchen, they would eat, and the kitchen was a stocked kitchen where they had plates and cups and anything that you need. So if you come and you had your food and you want to put in a plate, you could just take it out and, stuff like that. But the thing about it is people came with their containers with their food. They took plates and put their food in. They didn't eat in their container. And they just put the plate in the kitchen. They'll come and take cups there in the sink. They'll just come and take cups and they drink coffee, hot chocolate, whatever. They'll put it in the sink. And that's how it went. So the lunchtime, the person who was supposed to be enjoying their lunch, they were there washing dishes, spending the lunchtime washing dishes, which is nonsense because lunchtime is for you to relax yourself. I don't know why are they washing other people's dishes. Then if they didn't get a chance to wash it in the lunchtime, they had to wait when work is finished and then they went into the kitchen to wash people's dishes when they should be going home to look after their family, which is complete nonsense. To me, this is just complete foolishness in my book. So anyways, I decided I was not going to do it. Eventually, a couple of people came to me and said, you are right, because this is real nonsense. This is real foolishness. We all are fed up with this nonsense. So I said, well, why none of you is talking about it? Everybody's complaining about it, but I see all of you is washing dishes. And I see the person who's in charge of the kitchen, every month she makes a list and put it there. Then the person who makes the list, she tells me, Oh, I put your name on the list with this person. I said, you can put my name on the list from now until Timbuktu. You would never see me in that kitchen washing anybody's dishes. So good luck to you. Keep putting my name there. And she wasn't happy with me, but I didn't care. And these are things that you have to stand up for. You got to stand up for your right and for things that is not correct. You understand? So in life, please stand up for what is correct. Please stand up for things not only for yourself, but things that's going to benefit other people. You understand? And next thing is, some of us are so scared of losing our jobs if we say anything. Oh, I'm not saying that because I'm going to lose my job. Well, you can find another job. You understand? Why you want to work in a place where people are not treating you right, or people want to use you or take advantage of you? Why you want to work there? I don't understand. Find somewhere where you're appreciated and you're valued. That's what I think. I've gone to many jobs and I've worked there. And the minute time they start with any kind of thing that, is out of hand, or, it's beyond things that is not good, I'm like, bye, I leave and I get another job. You see, the point about it is, some of us, we are so like dependent on certain things. We have put ourselves in such a position, in such a state, that we like, how do I say? We like locked ourselves in a situation and we have no choice but to do that thing because we'll be on the street. And that's something I talk about in my lives videos. It's like, you have to be careful what you do in your life. I was at a what do you call that? I was taking a course. And the course was about disability and stuff. So that's what the course was about: disability in different workplaces, in schools, and how to treat children, how to help them, what kind of curriculum and this kind of things that we should be planning and making, how the staff should treat the children, giving you a lot of valuable skills and information. So if you're going to work with special need kids or adults, you know exactly what to do, because this is a hard job. You know what I'm saying? And I was very shocked at the amount of, I think it was like 30 of us in the group who was taking this course. But I was shocked at the amount of things that was happening in some of these jobs. And people were not talking about it. Like, nobody was complaining. So I stood up, and the teacher said that if something ever happened while you were working in a job, what did you do? What consequences, what action did you take to protect children? So I stand up and I said, I was working in this place and I saw these things were happening over and over, and this was not proper. Some child or children were not safe. So first of all, I told the person who was in charge of them about it, and that person didn't do anything about it, right? So I had to go to the higher ups and say, listen, this is what is happening here. The safety is compromised. So I did that. And then the person who was in charge under that head was very upset at me, and I didn't care. Why I didn't care? She's getting her money and she's supposed to make sure that safety is number one. And she wasn't doing that. So since I worked there, I couldn't afford to see anybody get hurt on my watch. Neither could I have the heart or the face to stand in front of any parent and say, oh, your child is hurt, when I know we should be following those safety protocols. And so a lot of people stand up and said, oh, you actually did that? Were you fired? I said, no, I wasn't fired, but I plan to get another job very soon, because I know me and that coworker would never agree after that, because she was so mad. And she had to they had to talk to her and all kind of stuff and stuff like that. And then she was like, why didn't you speak to me? I said, I did speak to you on many occasions, and I told you this is not safe, and you didn't listen to me. You understand? And we had an occasion where something happened on your watch, and instead of you going to talk to the parent, you left, and I had to talk to the parent about what happened, And I didn't, I didn't feel good about that at all, but it was a very good course, and many people stand up and talk and say different things. But like 60% of the people that was in the group, they all said the reason why they don't complain is because they don't want to lose their job. And I was shocked. I was like, when you decide to work with children, when you decide to work with teachers, anything concerning children, you're going to work with them. It is like you make a duty to protect them, to make sure that they're safe. So if you're working and you know they're not safe and you're not saying something, you're not living up to your duties. So how do you sleep at night? And I heard some horror stories of things that were happening, and I'm like, are you serious? And you didn't complain for all those years and you let that things continue to happen? And it was like, well, I got my mortgage to pay. Well, I got my cars to pay. I have my own family. And, and I thought that was so like uncompassionate, like I find it very like, where is your compassion? Where is your compassion? How could you be working and you see certain things happening and you're not saying anything about it? Like, why? Why? And I think a lot of us as people, we have lost our compassion. We have lost our sense of community as a people, a sense of love for each other, all that kind of thing. And it is very sad when you hear somebody say, well, oh, I guess you don't have any car to pay and you don't have any house to pay and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if I have a car to pay or if I have a house to pay for. That doesn't matter. Where is our human spirit? Where is humanity? Where is taking care of the elderly and the vulnerable people? What happened to the scriptures about taking care of the widow and the fatherless and the motherless? When has those values gone out of the door that we have become such vain, selfish, unrighteous people that you work in an environment and this is your job, your main job is safety, and you're not even doing the main job, So we live in a sad, sad society. And it's just, it's just really sad. And there's very few people out there who is willing to really stand up and do what is right. And they get backlash. And even when they get backlash, it's like it doesn't bother them because this is their calling. And something else that many people don't understand is you may see things, people are doing good things out there, or people are being bashed in the media or whatever, and they just continue doing good things. This is what they're called to do. This is what they are called to do. And it doesn't matter what you say, no matter what you do, they are still going to do good things. And there are some people out there, you see they do one or two things, and then before anything happens, you don't hear anything about them again. They're under the radar because that was not their calling. They don't have the passion for this stuff. They don't have the guts for that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. So it is very important. Like I always say, like, you can't make leaders. A leader was born a leader. You understand? You can force somebody to be a leader. You can say, oh, well, I see you're a good speaker. But being a leader is not about speaking. Being a leader is something deep down inside. It's a passion. It's a gift. It's like somebody who can really, really sew excellent. When they sew something, it's like perfect. Like you can't believe it. You're like, oh my goodness, this thing looks so amazing. So this is what it is, and I know there's a lot of people who like to push people to say, oh, I think you're a good leader. You're good for this. You're good for this position. You're good for this. You're good for that. But as an individual, I think you as a person should search deep within yourself and make sure that you're a leader before you go there to lead people. We have a lot of people that are in leadership positions, and they are not leaders. They're just pushed there into the position, or they're just like, how you say, like they just elevate them because, or they're up to the high rank, but they don't have the passion. They don't have the love for the people. You understand? And when we have this kind of leadership, it's not good for the community. It's not good for the family. It's not good for the nation as a whole, because it doesn't benefit a person who is passionate. They genuinely care about their people. They would go to the north, south, east, and west to make sure that their people is okay. Like, I'm a teacher and I am passionate about my students. If a parent come to me and say, the child is not reading properly, the child, have issues, I will go to the ends of the world to make sure that this child get the services that the child need, and because I am passionate, I want to see students succeed. I want to ensure that parents have a good way, to work at home and at school. When I had my daycare center, it was the same thing. I wanted to make sure that parents, we have a good communication. So in case something happened at home, they can say, when they come, they bring the child in the morning, they can say, Madam M, the child didn't sleep well last night, whatever. So we can have a good communication. So during the day, if the child didn't sleep, I can say, okay, let's put Johnny down to sleep because Johnny didn't have a good night. Johnny was coughing or whatever. And in our communities, in our societies, we have to be careful the leaders that you put in place. Or you're in a church, I'm going to pick her for a leader. Well, what leadership qualities did she portray? Because she comes every Sunday and she sits there in church. Is she compassionate for people? Is she going and visit the sick? Is she bringing food for the people who needs it? Is she giving money out of her pocket when somebody can pay their rent? When there's squabbles and quarrels among the brethren, is she there, the first person saying, okay, let me pick up the scripture, brethren, let's talk about the scripture, let's make peace among ourselves? Is she saying, oh, you know what, let's go to council, let's see where the problem started, let's see how we can solve the problem? Is that person a person like that? We have some leaders, they're leaders, so they sit up there. People have to serve them. I was in an organization one time, and we had like these 4 people who was leaders. They was deemed the leaders of the organization. And these people, they just wanted to be like taken care of hands and feet. You know what I'm saying? They sat up there, they didn't do anything, they just give orders. And if we had any functions, if we had any things, they wouldn't even come. If we put like food on the tables, so people everybody come and take their snack before the meeting started, they wanted people to bring their food up there to serve them. Why? You're a leader, you should come and talk to your people. You're not sitting on top there just to watch over people. A leader is a compassionate, caring, understanding person who have compassion for their people and is there to help and make sure things are good and well with their people. So that is what I'm saying, that we have to be careful with the people that we look up to as leaders in our community. Are they doing what is best for our community? And we who say we are leaders, are we hiding behind somebody's back, or are we standing up for the thing? You understand? Like the Gen Zs, they're standing up because their generation is going to benefit, the generation after them is going to benefit, and many, many generations after is going to benefit from what they did. So in one previous live, I said, when I talk about passing on things to generation, when I talk about generational wealth in my channel, and I talk about, we doing, making money, whether we farming, whether we passing on knowledge, all that kind of stuff, that good stuff, all that stuff that we passing on. It's not just physical money wealth, but it's also mental wealth. it's also emotional wealth, and it's also physical wealth. And why is it emotional? Because our thoughts are going to be purer and better, right? Physically, we're going to be able to take care of ourselves. Physically, meaning in the things that we put in our body, they will treat our body. Because I don't know if you guys know, like my husband was my husband was recently traveling, and he was talking. He met different people, and he was talking about the stature, the build of certain people, how they look, and when he went to a different area, he see like certain people had more food, they had more resources that was available to them, and so they look, like healthier, and they just look nice and healthy because they had that food, and they just had like the nourishment. And then when you go to another area, you see like people, they don't look very well. And you can see like the landscape, you can see that the food that they have, is not great. You can see their situation, and you can see, I don't know if you guys know biology, but if you don't eat well when you're younger, it stunts your growth. So you tend to be a shorter person, and you don't grow as much because you don't have the calories, you don't have the food, and all that things to take care of your body. So that is why, you know, what we eat is very important because, it gives us growth. It helps us to grow physically as people. So when we thinking about generational wealth, if we have the resources, we will take care of ourselves and we will be healthier people. I also watched another documentary where they were talking about years ago, where they talk about certain people in certain areas had a certain diet. They had like a meat diet. They eat a lot of meat. And so they were very, very healthy, and their generation lived for very, very long. But the time goes on and on, generation goes on, passed down. And these people had to leave the area where they were living because industrialization, all the different things happen. People are coming to cut down tree in the area to build different things. The forest, those forested areas where they used to live in, they can't live there anymore. It become very sparse. It started to flood. So people have to move down to lowland. And when they come down to lowland, they started changing the diet that they eat, and in the beginning, a lot of meat and stuff wasn't available for them. So they start eating plant, and then they actually started, it wasn't beneficial to them because for generations and generations they've been eating meat and having a certain diet, and all of a sudden drastically they changes, and they were just having a lot of issues, and a lot of diseases were happening in their in the clan, in the what's going ahead as the generation goes down. So after years and years, they study these people, they realize, hey, what you put in your body is very important. So that's why we build it. When I talk about building wealth, it's so important. When we build wealth, it affects us mentally, physically, spiritually, and it passes on to our generation. Because if you set the standard of how to take care of your body from now, the generation below you is going to say, wow, I remember this generation of people that exercise, they eat healthy food, I better try to live this kind of life. Or if you don't take care of yourself and you're sickly and people are dying and all that kind of stuff, the other generation is going to say, oh my goodness, my family, they have health problems, whatever. You kind of set in this stage for unhealthy behavior. So people are going to die earlier because of sickness. If we have a mindset, people who have good mindset, because you set that up when you're making wealth, because I said that three stages of wealth. If you set that up with good thinking, people are positive. Like you set a positive mindset in your generation. So in my generation, I'd set a very positive mindset of people. People are business oriented. People like to work. People are on the go. Get going, get going, get going. You know what I mean? So if we set that up in our generation, as the generation continues on, that is going to be passed on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my aunt was a hairdresser. You know, my uncle was a lorry owner. You know, my grandma, she owned a farm. You know, my great aunt, you know, she owned like a cooking business. So, or my other uncle was a doctor. You know, so all these things. Or my other person was a person who was really good in irrigation. Or some other family member knew how to breed sheep and goats and cows and stuff like that. So you see all this wealth that I'm talking about. So wealth is not always about money. It's about like the mindset and the skills that you can do. So if you have all this wealth that you have set up in one generation, then you can continue to pass that wealth downwards to the rest of the generations. And that is what I'm talking about leadership. In our communities, we have to stand up for what is right. We have to stand up for what is true, because we're not only thinking about ourselves, we are thinking about our people and the generation. So when I talk about this young man from the first live, he's doing something for his generation. Hopefully that this group that he made, you know, with all these young men, they would take people on, you know what I'm saying, and be kind and be generous and do the same thing for them in their communities also. Can you imagine if you have a community where men stand up and they decide to do what is right and pleasing in the sight of the Lord? Can you imagine the goodness that our society will be? Can you imagine the peace and the harmony and, you know, the goodness that's going to happen in our community? You know, do you think we'll see many women suffering, or many women having kids out of wedlock and all that kind of stuff? No, we would hardly see a community like that. You know, there'll be harmony. You know, it's like, even if you're a widow and your husband is no more, you know what I'm saying, but there'll be a community around you, somebody there to help you. You know, if you need something to build, there's a community of men there. They can come and help you. You know what I'm saying? If you want to remarry, there's a community of men, you know, who is going to say, okay, I think this man is a nice man. Maybe we can bring them together, because there's a community together. And so that is what I'm talking about when I talk on my channel. And I talk about, when I see good things, I will talk about it. When I see somebody doing something good, I will bring it to light and I will highlight them. And yeah, so that is what I want to talk in this live. And I hope everybody who's hearing my voice out there will take some of these things that I'm telling you guys. Learn to be of value to yourself, not only to yourself. Think about your community. Think about your family. Think about like your extended family. Think about how you can help people who are in need, you know? And like I said in the beginning of the live, many people, you help them and they don't thank you. But, you know, when Jesus healed the 10 lepers, only one come back. So we are doing things for the glory and the honor of God. We are not doing things for the glory and honor of ourselves. Okay? That's what we have to remember. And even sometimes, you know, we watch this YouTube channel and we see and we disown and say, hey, I'm not going to associate myself with these people. I'm not going to associate myself with that people. You still have to be doing the work of God, and you still have to use discernment in whatever you do. And whatever you do, you have to make sure that, you know, you make sure that you're aligned with the Most High's paths and the Most High's calling for your life. Because sometimes we say, oh, I'm not going to do certain stuff, but maybe the Most High does, he wants you to do them, but you just don't know that you're capable of doing some things. And I can say that because that happened to me personally. I'm like, no, let me not do that kind of stuff, because I don't think I'm compatible with these people, or I'm not compatible with this thing, you know? And I don't do it. And the thing keep nagging me. He's go, do it, doesn't matter, whatever. And in the end, I succumb and I go and I do it, and this is the best thing ever. Even if it was bad for somebody else, I was able to go there and turn things around. So I'm not saying like to jump into things, but make sure whatever you're doing, you have that spiritual discernment, and it is led by the Father. And yeah, and that, you know, stand up for what is right, stand up for what is righteous. Don't let people walk all over you, because make sure you know your rights as a person If you get a job, make sure this is, if something is in your job title, okay, when you get the job, it's in your job title, you're expected to do it, do it. If it's not in your job title, don't do it. If you think you're being treated unfair, if you help somebody and they're not thankful for your help, just let it be. Let the Most High deal with them on His own terms. Like this young man, he helped this girl, but she's not happy about it. So I'm not gonna say she's not happy about it, but her behavior is bad. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what can you do? Just move on to the next person, move on to the next thing, and that's basically it. So guys, I thank everybody who comes to the live. See, lots of you wasn't the live today. I know the live got cut off, but sorry about that. So I guess this platform is changing a lot of stuff. So if you say certain words, they will shut you down. So do we really have freedom of speech? I think we don't. We are controlled by all kind of stuff. I think we only have freedom of speech when we talk to each other face to face and not use people's platforms. So that's why it's so important to build community among yourself, and then you can really talk to people face to face and see their eyes and see their expressions, and yeah, that's basically it. So guys, shalom. Thanks for watching. You guys, I'll see you in the next live. Bye.